Welcome everybody to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. Very nice piece of prophecy stone today. Yes, let's speak some prophecies. Welcome. Today is a very interesting day because every time I see three messages that come in with a specific topic of conversation, especially on an emotional, spiritual side, it's nice to be able to talk about it. I have tried to explain this over the past, but it becomes more evident and more deeper than what we perceived, especially as a healer, when we very much go into the energy of direct root cause issue and we healing, it's gone, and then you can get on with your life. We have seen a huge difference that way. But I guess now as a healer, if I'm speaking to other healers, if you're a practitioner, I find that when you go to the root cause, when you're working on that, I often realized I was working on the heart. And that is basically a way of blasting energy into the heart to strengthen it, so that when you're stronger in your heart, you're stronger in dealing with the emotions. And so there's so many aspects to this. But the point in fact, the question which was asked of three people in these past day or so was why is it that I keep getting attacked by people that I love, by my friends? Why am I always the target of maliciousness, whether it's physical, mentally, emotional, or even spiritual? Some people can send daggers at you when you're just looking at them. You can feel that awful energy coming towards you. But primarily for me, I often talk about energy, saying that people can't really send bad energy to you. I've always believed that deep down in my heart, and it goes along with the amount of clients that I work with, and I always ask, what is it? When was it? When did it first hit you? And like anything, like a spell or voodoo, witchcraft, whatever it is, that it never just happened. So I could be completely wrong. I've said this before, but nobody ever came to me and said, Mark, I'm being attacked, and okay, how did it happen? It just came out of the blue. I don't even know why she's attacked me. I have no idea. I thought she loved me, right? But I have a feeling she's attacking me. I never had that conversation. And if that was a conversation that happened all the time, I'd go, okay, there must be something in this. And my understanding of energy that we believe, we are told, especially by the deceivers of this world, that bad energy can affect us, and I've realized that it's the manipulation of words, and once we digest that manipulation, we create it. So we are the masters of our life, and it absolutely fits in perfect with this understanding of emotional torture that we go through when people do these things to us and make us feel bad. So if you look at it on a let's say a scale of where somebody comes in and says, I've got, I've been attacked by demonic demons and it's been sent to me by so and so. It's normally, the witchcraft, voodoo, all these things that I don't want to upset people. That some people say that voodoo is great, and look, I'm just telling you what people have told me about witchcraft, voodoo, spells and curses. Okay, I've just worked with clients and understood it from their perspective. Okay, so if you do it and you do it in love and all that, I'm not arguing about that. I'm just telling you about the clients that lay down in front of me and I'm giving them a healing session. It always came to light that they found out that somebody or the very person told them, or a sign came to them by way of on their wall, or a message, or a piece of paper. You remember them awful pen letters what were written and said, if you don't write this to 15 other people, then everything's going to go wrong in your life, like blah blah blah. You used to throw them in. Anybody who had any strength would throw it straight in the bin. But those people who are not in a good place, and I could have not been in a good place and I could have fallen for certain things, but when you're in a bad place, you fall for anything. So when your energy's down, when you feel bad, when you feel lost, anything affects you. It's not actually anything, it's you are affected by anything. So Therefore, the conclusion is really simple. You have to strengthen yourself. You have to work through it. You have to be the conqueror of this game that we live in, this illusion that we live in. It's nothing personal. And of course, we often talk about this idea of how do you actually ever become what you want to become without going through the process of becoming that what you want to be? I want to be a master of riding a bike. I can't just say I want to be a master of it. I've got to get on the bike and ride it. So if you want to master your emotions, you have to go through riding the storm, riding those people who are haters or hating us or saying nasty things. And it's not easy for any of us, but we have to work on it day by day. Eventually, it will come that these things don't affect us. And we remind ourselves every day that I came here to become the greater version of myself, to break the mold of my parents, to be the better me, to be the more understanding. And, you can spend your whole lifetime scratching your head like I did when I was 38. Just after 38, then it all made sense. But before that, it was like every day, week, month, year, I spend most of my time in wallowing in self-pity and sadness and trying to understand why there were so many abusers in so many different ways in my life, right from being a young little boy and being smashed over the head with a hammer. If I ever write a book, that's going to be my first paragraph. It started when I was in kindergarten, and this child came over with a hammer and just smashed me over the head. Didn't even know the child, only just started going there, but this child just saw it and just came for me and smashed me over the head with a hammer. That was the start of my understanding and my test and learning and to grow from it. So, there is some truth in that. If we never overcome something, it is repeated, and there is something in that. Whether it's the genius of the game, whether it's a genius of the source energy, God, whatever it is, you almost think that somebody's taking the piss here, but actually, you've got to keep getting back on that bike. Yeah, but I'm going to fall. Yeah, you are going to fall, but eventually you're not going to fall because you're going to figure out how to balance yourself. And that's exactly like life. You have to balance yourself in all aspects, good and bad. Sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. Sometimes you can have too much of a bad thing. But finding the balance of everything is part of the journey. So when, beautiful, teenagers contact me and say, Mark, I don't know what to do. I'm being attacked by my friends and like it's part of the journey. There's nothing I can do apart from to share with you my scars to help you know that it's very normal and we get through it these ways. Now, for me, I've tried it all different ways. I've tried to fight back. Fighting back doesn't work at all. It does not work. So, dropping the tennis racket sometimes works. Sometimes works. They can't fight. They can't play tennis with you anymore because you dropped the bat and walked away. But then there's some people, some energies inside these bodies that are different from ours, and just that their life path is to try and destroy and hurt somebody. Why? Because maybe it's the nature of what we create. So maybe we need this. So I keep falling off my bike when this person comes to me until eventually I'm not going to pay attention to that person and I'm not going to fall anymore. So the point being is we have to learn to understand all the aspects of what we're going through, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So if we want to start with the spiritual, I kind of would, if somebody said to me, tell me what you really believe is why people do bad things. And I say, well, we came here and we must have known why we came here. I mean, because we're all seeing everything. Everybody knows that. Our consciousness knows everything. That's why if we listen to our consciousness, we're not normally in a bad place. We overcome nearly everything very quickly when we're in our consciousness, when we're in ourself. That's why, there's a saying, if you're not well, go inside. If you want to know yourself, go inside. And it's true, because once you've gone inside, then nothing matters as it did do from the outside. Outside, everything matters. Everything's a problem. Everybody's this, everybody's that. I'm this, I'm that. Go inside. You don't get any of that. You're in complete peace and harmony and balance. That's why the more you do meditation, more you go inside, the stronger you get. And it's true. It's really true. You do get stronger when you're friends with yourself. Most people are enemies with themselves. meaning that their brain and their bodies are completely the opposite of what their consciousness is trying to say. I came into this bodysuit. I didn't ask you to start thinking like this. You do what you're told. But then the brain says, no, you do what you're told. I'm telling you. So then your brain and your thoughts take over your consciousness, and your consciousness just seeps into the background and says, well, when you're ready, I'm here. And maybe it does that deliberately. So you go through all of this pain and suffering to say, well, told you, but I had to sit here and wait for you to figure it out. So now I'm here because you want me now, you need me now. And all of a sudden you are more balanced because you're listening to your consciousness and not this, which should basically only be switched on when you cross the road and look left and right. Thanks very much. Well done. That's what you're there for. Cheers, pal. But don't start talking to me about emotions and trying to figure out my past, present and future. That, you're just a tool. So these are the little golden nuggets of truth that help you along this journey, that, hey, we all suffer this absolute ripping of my heart and everything, that how can somebody do something so awful to us. So there's different levels of that, which is also the energetic side. So some people are born to hurt people. Some people are born to feed from people in any nasty way they can. And you have to recognize these people, that they're not like you and I. They come from a different place, a different part of the universe, which is basically feeds from negativity. Now, their feeding of negativity where they come from is something that we couldn't recognize. So when they come here, they need to find that food. They need to find that energy. And they realize that it's not in happiness. In fact, that repels them and it puts them off and makes them angry. So they get angry with you, so you get upset and feel angry, and then they feed from you. So that's again another different understanding of this world, where you're never told about this. There are feeders in this world of pain and suffering. So that is something that we have to recognize and say, okay, see you later. You're not gonna feed off me. Some people call them vampires, energetic vampire. There's so many different names for it, but you often find them that no matter what you do, no matter how many times you help, no matter how many times you sit with them, they always come back with that same energy, and then they make you feel bad, and then your battery changes from positive to negative, and then they feed from you, and then you are exhausted at the end of it, and they're off and happy, right? So they never change, and you often ask yourself, well, why do I keep doing it? And your consciousness says, because they're not like you, and you'll never fix them. They can't be fixed. I've never fixed anybody who doesn't want to be fixed. So how can you fix somebody who lives who is a consciousness that feeds from something different from you and I? You can't fix that. That's who they are. You can't say to somebody, eat poo, right? You can't say that. I can't say to a fly, what are you eating shit for? You should be eating honey. They're just like, what you're talking about. So this is the same principle. You can't tell these people, and they could be in your family. Oh, I chose my family. Yeah, you chose a spacesuit, you chose a family, but what goes in the spacesuits are completely individual and from different parts of the universe. That's why you can have a twin brother, a twin sister, or a brother or a sister that is completely nothing like you. So when you think about this, it makes more sense that we don't come from the same place as religion wants you to believe, as religion and written in the wants you. That's not true. This is a big universe, and if you are part of the God consciousness, there is no reason why you can't say there's other consciousness. You're just making it up because you've been told that. But I have felt different consciousness within different spacesuits, in different bodies. And you can recognize them. I'm just giving you that clue. The other clue is, I've always said, why is it that somebody laughs and feels joy when somebody's in pain and suffering? Because you're not from the same place as me. Because that is not a normal thing that we do. We eat honey and love it. We don't eat poo like you do. You're enjoying the poo, you're enjoying the pain, you're enjoying the suffering. We don't enjoy that. We enjoy somebody laughing, joking, having love, kindness, joy, and dancing and all wonderful. You don't like that. You're jealous, you're angry, because your energy doesn't feed from that. It makes so much more sense when you realize it's all about energy and what people feed from. So you've got to understand that when you step back from all of that, Okay, if somebody is like that and like the fly eats the poo, you ain't going to change him, right? You're not going to change him. You can fly, stop, just don't do it. He's going to keep coming back. So once you realize that, okay, the fly eats poo, all right, I'm not going to get upset about it anymore. I just know that the fly eats poo. I know my dad does that. He can't help himself. He's a nasty. That's just the way he is. Just get used to it. Okay, all right, now I know who he is, or now you know who your friends are. They're not like you. So you accept that, right? You accept it. Now it's up to you whether you embrace that and not let it affect you and say, well, I realise that they're like that. They're going to keep going to the poo and they're going to keep causing poo issues. So I either cope with it, and if I'm not in a good place, don't go anywhere near, arm's length, small doses. But I still like my friend. I can't help myself. I still like them and love them and want to help them. That's fine. So no problem. You go back, but you will still get the same thing. You'll still be eating poo, still be causing poo, still be causing issues and shit all around you. You'll be throwing it all over the place, okay? And then you put your head down when you've walked away, feel exhausted and think, why did I even bother? I feel terrible. They made me feel bad. Right. Mark said that they do that because they don't realize that they need to feed from an energy that you have. But the only way you have that energy is by causing an issue or trauma or worry or fear or shock, that then your energy battery changes from a positive to a negative, and then they feed. Wow, does make sense. That really does make sense. So now I know that, you know what? I ain't going to be a punch bag anymore. I'm not going to be punched to be able to then drain to give to somebody else. So I'm off. So now I've made a conscious decision to be stronger than what I've learned. Because you don't learn if you just know it, but you don't react to it. You don't embrace it and then make the necessary changes to improve your life. So you don't win, or you don't come first in a competition when you go back to the spirit world, because okay, so you recognized it, but what did you do? Well, I recognized it. Yeah, but what did you do? I kept doing the same thing. So you knew it was wrong, but you kept doing it. Yeah. Well, why didn't you figure a way out to move forward from it and be stronger than it? Because you were still reacting to it. Now, I could easily say, if you said, okay, like I got used to my dad, right? Arm's length, small doses. I wouldn't buy him anything anymore. And if I did, I knew what the response I'd get. So I laughed about it one day. I was in a van and I bought him a new settee, and he was angry because his old knackered settee, which was 100 years old, was falling to bits. It had cardboard underneath. I bought him a beautiful settee. He said, I don't want it. I don't like it. Right. And like, I got into the van and I started laughing. I had no choice. I'd realised that there's nothing I can do to please the man. He will never change. This is his energy. So I laughed, realising, why did I go through all of that for so long? And I banged my head against the wheel and I was laughing because I was releasing the frustration, because I suddenly got the penny drop moment that it isn't his fault. It's my fault. So when you say to people, or you said to me, you come to me as, these people are hurting me, and all, like it's your fault. You're allowing it to happen like I allowed it to happen. But then I changed my way and thought, okay, my dad is my dad. He can't change. This is him. He likes the fly poo. He likes to moan. He likes to be in the poo and roll around in it. No problem. That's fine. If that's where you're happy. But I am not going to enter into the fly poo. I'm not going to be that fly poo for you to steal my energy. You see what I mean? So arms like small doses, and I decided not to do anything anymore, which for him, but I was cool with that. I had friends that I'm no longer going to be friends with because I know what you're like and you ain't going to change because that's your energy. And I'm cool with that. So when I meet you, I'm cool with who you are and I know what you're about to say, what you're about to do, but you ain't going to affect me anymore. So you go back to your home world one day and you look at yourself saying, I actually grew a lot stronger and it didn't affect me anymore. And even when I was around them, it didn't affect me anymore. And ultimately, that's the key. That's the hardest part. So we can run away, right? And say, I don't like your energy. I don't want to be anywhere near you. But where are you running to? Because you're running away from something that you need to be stronger than. You need to conquer. So I conquered my dad by realizing there's no I can do. I came to terms with everything, and I didn't waste my energy. But when I had to see him, I saw him, but I was stronger and it didn't affect me. And he used to moan and say that it was just his conversation and the way he was. It was his energy, but it never affected me anymore. And it didn't bother me anymore, which meant I grew through knowledge, experience, and breaking through that fear and worry of me thinking it was me and what am I doing wrong, to realizing that you can't change a fly that eats poo-poo. It'll always eat poo-poo, so get used to it. That's just the way they are. So now the fly eats poo, no problem. That's what the fly does. That's what my dad does. That's what your friend does. She just does it. Get used to it. And then when it doesn't affect you, and you smile and you don't let it bother you, and you have a choice whether you go there or you don't go there, and you're not running away, because if you run away, guess where you get to? To the same person, but it's somebody else doing the same thing. So ultimately, the point being is, it is like a test. The test is for you to be stronger than other people that you have to recognize are not like you. You want everybody to be like you. You've been told everybody's like you because we're all made in the image of God. Well, that isn't true, guys. It's a lie. It was made up deliberately so you would be around these people, because we've got to forgive them. They're all like us. Well, okay, no problem. I forgive you because I know you're not like me. Right? And I'm not going to spend all my time with you, but I'm not going to be upset because I'm not spending time with you anymore. I've just recognized that your energy is not like mine. Your behavior is nothing like mine. Every thought and feeling you have is nothing like mine. Therefore, I'm saying it's been a lovely experience. I'm not letting you affect me. You can't affect me because I now know who you are and why you behave like that. So, been lovely meeting you. Great tests, great lessons. I think I'm stronger now. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you. But take care. And then I start walking along my path. And by that, my consciousness says, what have you learned? I've learned that I don't want to be around these types of people. So what are you going to do? That's the next step. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find people that are like me. I'm going to find friendships that I connect to consciously. And I know wholeheartedly that this person vibrates at the same frequency as me. And now you have to become the intuitive. You have to become the psychic. You have to become the energy healer to feel energy. And you have to okay, this person's similar to me, but not quite like me. So it's lovely meeting you until you meet somebody and think, Jesus Christ, this is so flowing. This is so natural. This is such a lovely connection. There is no pain, no suffering, no worries, no fears, no, not so sure about this person. Oh, I don't like the way they spoke like that. No, natural flow between two people is like, wow, it's like you're my sister. Or it's like you're my brother. Or the common one is, oh my God, you're my soulmate. It's not that they're your soulmate. It's not like they've been your brother and sister from a past life. Or maybe it is, but my feeling is that you've met somebody from your home world, from your spirit world. So your consciousness is their consciousness. So you're connected to them. You are a singular drop in the ocean where you come from together, but you're singular in the drop. So your drop of consciousness and your drop of consciousness is now separate and different, but you feel each other and you come from the same ocean. So there's such a familiar feeling, such a warm, wonderful feeling. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to meet that person, but it's nice to say I'm going to now focus, because I believe there's many different consciousness from the universe. It's like saying, are we the only species on planet Earth? If you were to say yes, there's nobody else out there, then you're a bit, a little bit closed, if that's what you think when you look up at the stars. So if that's the case, why can't you feel the same thing about consciousness? Why can't there be many consciousnesses of different places in this cosmos? That's my understanding, and that's how I feel at this moment for sure. And it's really helped me along my journey. What I do tend to do a lot of the times is wear my heart on my sleeve by sharing with people that I, like you and me, we do get upset when we see nasty things shared, and it is challenging to get over these things, but ultimately, we always have to have something to go back to, a foundation, a balancer to help us. That anybody who, You don't look online to find people that you are jealous of and that you want to take a screenshot of and say something nasty about them, right? No, you don't. It's not even in your energy. But like I said, there are people in these spacesuits that come here to feed. And if they know that you're a good person and you're powerful in energy, they can change that energy from positive to negative by doing something dark to you. So then you turn into that darkness that then they feed from. Okay? So you have to understand that whenever we're attacked, it's because they want to feed from us. That's the bottom line. That's how I see it. It might be that you say, well, I kind of get that, but I think they're just jealous and bitter and angry. Of course they are, because that's their energy. That's where they come from. But they do it to feed from us. So they want a reaction because that reaction is the energy that they're waiting for and to feed from. It's not easy not to react. And I've spent 2 decades working on not knee-jerking. No knee-jerk reaction, just look at the bigger picture, understand it, and try and work on that. So what I share with you today is only half an hour of just a few thoughts. There's 1,000 more things I could say, but just this is enough for you to just embrace for the next few weeks and try and utilize it. Try and bring it into your life and think about it and speak to your consciousness, meditate, eat healthy, look after yourself. And know that you're beautiful, and know that you're original, and know that you're kind and caring. And I always say this, you're so beautiful and so rare that when somebody comes into your life, you're one of the most beautiful people that actually will stand firm and strong and loving and kind and caring for that person that's come into your life. They're a blessing to have you. You're the most amazing person to have. I would be honored to be in your life because I know that you'd love me and you'd be kind and caring and you'd do anything like I would for you. So we are good people and we are rare and we are kind, we're caring, and that is a power. That is strength. So whoever's lucky enough to be in your life is the luckiest person in the world. I'll leave you on that. Have a beautiful day.